We're getting ready for the Retro Rallycross final with a great mix of cars. After the qualifying heats, Ray Morgan is the man who tops the points ahead of Roger Thomas with the Metro 6R4 and Kevin Feeney's Escort Mark II third from Lance Foster and Paul Easterbrook's Toyota MR2 behind the Mini, and then the Volkswagen Polo of Paul Smith sixth. The grid is formed, it's based on those points from the heats, so Ray Morgan, Roger Thomas, Kevin Feeney are on the front row ahead of Lance Foster in the Mini and Paul Easterbrook's Toyota MR2 alongside. Paul Smith is on the back row with a Mark I Escort of Simon Hartford Company, a car that goes back to the early 70s of Rallycross. We Go Racing, and four-wheel drive Metro 6R4 acceleration helps Roger Thomas into the lead down towards the first corner. Kevin Feeney then in the green Mark II Escort goes up into the third spot behind the Mark III of Ray Morgan. A better ambassador for Rallycross than Ray you will not find. He has been a stalwart Rallycrosser for decades and equally enthusiastic now as ever he was. The Mark III Escort with a BDA engine, two-wheel drive of course, taking on the four-wheel drive Metro 6R4 up front. So Roger Thomas it is leading at the moment ahead of Ray Morgan, and then behind you've got the Mark II Escort running in third spot in the hands of Kevin Feeney. End of the lap, over the timing line goes Roger Thomas then, the Metro 6R4 trying to break away from the opposition. He needs to try and build up as big a gap as he possibly can. Ray Morgan's Escort just looking a bit smoky there as it came over the timing line, but he's soldiering on in that second spot. Down to the hairpin, there's Paul Easterbrook in the Toyota MR2, and further up the road is Lance Foster there in the green and white Mini Spares Mini Club, and he's only ever raced Minis, the XE and Sandwith car, and it goes very, very strongly in Lance Foster's giant killing hands. He's chasing after the Mark II Escort that absolutely dominated Rallycross late 70s, early 80s. Go back to the days of John Welch and Tony Drummond among many, many others in Mark II Escorts having great success in the UK, Martin Skanker in Europe. But there, Roger Thomas with the 6R4, a car initially really aimed at the rally market until the demise, the axe fell on Group B rallying. And with so many cars around, where else could they go but into Rallycross? And it was a golden age, the late 80s, with all of these Group B rally cars coming into Rallycross, the 6R4 amongst them. Ray Morgan's Escort then hanging on to second spot but dropping away now from Roger Thomas, so Thomas building a very healthy advantage indeed here. As we saw at Croft, it's essential that the 6R4s overcome any time penalty, because to equate four-wheel drive and two-wheel drive, that's what happened to Mark Flaherty in North Yorkshire. But Roger Thomas here getting on with the job and streaking away. He works his way onto the loose, the back starts to come round, but of course with four-wheel drive traction he's easily able to correct that and just drag the car out of the corner. Ray Morgan, the best of the rest, in second spot, and Kevin Feeney's Mark II Escort starting to fall away a little bit now. The Mark III was never quite that popular, although if you go back to the mid-1980s, the Mark III in the hands of Martin Skanker and John Welch did have great success in Europe and of course in John's hands, winning the British Rallycross Grand Prix, but that was a rather different type of Escort with the four-wheel drive X-Track transmission in it. Down to the hairpin goes Roger Thomas starting his last lap. Ray Morgan hustling on in second spot. What's going on behind them? Well, Lance Foster is keeping at bay the Toyota MR2 of Paul Easterbrook. The MR2 was never that common a Rallycross car, but it's great to have the variety on the grid. And there, going back to the very early days and John Taylor winning the European Championship, is Simon Hart's Haynes and Maidstone Tribute Ford Escort. Lance Foster then turning his way through Divani Bend on towards the loose section of the circuit. It's looking good for a fourth place it's going to be for him. Third of the two-wheel drive brigade, because this four-wheel drive car is out front. Roger Thomas having dominated proceedings here. Good to have some new names coming into Retro Rallycross this weekend. Kevin Feeney being one of them, Roger Thomas another, and he is the man that has really stamped his mark on the day. The 6R4 making that familiar barking noise, comes up towards the checkered flag. Roger Thomas wins in South Wales. Ray Morgan is going to come through for second place, and third should be the Mark II Escort of Kevin Feeney. Over the line goes the BDA engined Escort of Ray Morgan, and Kevin Feeney will be third ahead of Lance Foster, and then Paul Easterbrook at the end of another lively race for everybody involved, and just a great trip down memory lane. So Roger Thomas in the Metro 6R4 overcomes everything to win here at Pembrey. A dominant drive in a great car. Roger Thomas the winner from Ray Morgan in second spot. Kevin Feeney taking third with Lance Foster fourth. Paul Easterbrook fifth ahead of Paul Smith and Simon Hart. But in the championship it's Ray Morgan leading now, 11 points up on Paul Easterbrook, the absent Barry Stewart third, and then Roger Thomas in fourth.